Hello, welcome to your social studies lesson. Today we are going to be talking about the mountain region in North Carolina. North Carolina is covered in beautiful mountain regions. I can identify physical features, such as mountains, in my community and in North Carolina. Let's get started. Let's start by watching this anticipatory set.
When it comes to famous attractions in North Carolina's high country, perhaps none has a higher profile than Grandfather Mountain.
There's nothing that looks quite like this. When you see that profile, you know what it is. You know it's Grandfather Mountain.
And you should also know that it's been one of North Carolina's favorite getaways for decades, combining the area's natural scenery with educational exhibits, spectacular views, and the infamous mile-high swinging bridge. Best of all, every part of Grandfather Mountain is protected from development, meaning the views you see today will be much the same for generations to come.
We hope that people's experience is going to be the same 100 years from now that it would be if they came up here today, and that if it changes at all, that it will just improve in some way.
But while Grandfather Mountain invites its guests to get a view from the top, another high country attraction lets you see what lies beneath.
That was an interesting video about Grandfather Mountain. Grandfather Mountain is a mountain that you can visit in North Carolina. Based on that anticipatory set, what do you think we're going to talk about today? Do you think we're going to talk about mountains or dolls? Which one? Did you say mountains? That's right. Today we are going to talk about mountains. That is why my background is a beautiful scenic mountain, and over there is my tent, and I am wearing camping clothes. I have a vest on, a puffer vest, and I also brought a flashlight. Flashlights are great for camping because at night it gets dark. I also brought some pink hiking boots. Hiking boots are great for when you go camping because not all shoes we wear are appropriate for camping and hiking. Today, our anticipatory set, or I'm sorry, our repeated storyline is going to be mountains have steep sides. Anytime you see the yellow star, you are going to say mountains have steep sides. Our vocabulary words are North Carolina and mountains. Today we are talking about mountains in North Carolina. Farthest west is the Appalachian Mountain region. Mountain ranges within the Appalachians are called subranges. These include the Blue Ridge, Great Smoky, Great Balsam, Black, and Passage Mountains. Let's watch this video about some different mountains. I think this video is going to be about the Smoky Mountains. those were some beautiful animals that you can find in the Great Smoky Mountains. Maybe you saw some salamanders in that video, black bears, hummingbirds. Did you see fireflies? Those are my favorite. I love fireflies. Do you see the yellow star? What's a repeated storyline? Mountains have steep sides. That's right. The state's highest point in this region is Mount Mitchell, might be Mount Mitchell, at 6,684 feet. Wow, that's a very tall mountain. Do you see the yellow star? Mountains have steep sides. That's right. The high altitude of the Appalachian Mountains makes the far west of the state very cold in winter and cool in the summer. Rain along the east slopes of the big mountains measures more than 90 inches each year. The mountains receive up to 20 inches of snow in a typical winter. Wow, let's watch this video. In this video, you are going to see snow on the Appalachian Trail.
Hey guys, well we're here at Tri-Corner Shelter in the Smokies, and as you can tell, we got a little bit of snow last night. And we woke up to this, and it's real pretty. Yeah.
What's that?
There's Professor Turtle. So, yeah, so a couple inches of snow, well maybe 4. Looks like about 3 or 4 inches. So anyways, I'm going to be going to Davenport or Standing Bear Hostel or Bear or something. Anyways, to get out of the cold, because it's supposed to be really cold tonight, probably like single digits. So anyways, hope you guys are well.
That man is camping in the Appalachian Mountains in the snow. He's very brave. He needs a lot more than a puffer vest to keep him warm. If you look at him, he is wearing a coat, a very winter industrial coat, and he has it zipped all the way up to his mouth, and then it looks like he has a scarf on the inside of the coat. He has gloves on. It is very cold. Did you hear him say that it is going to get into the single digits that night while they're sleeping? Wow. The Great Smoky Mountains are home to black bears. Let's watch this video about black bears. Five facts on North American black bears.
The North American black bear is the smallest yet most common of the 3 bear species found in North America, trailing the polar bear and grizzly bear. But they're still pretty big. A black bear's weight varies depending on age, sex, and time of year, but adult males, known as boars, typically weigh between 250 and 500 pounds, and can put on much more weight if there's ample food. Very large and old boars often get into the 600-pound range and even been recorded north of 800 pounds. From snout to tail, they average 4 to 6 feet in length and live 18 years on average. Adult female bears, known as sows, commonly weigh between 100 and 300 pounds. Black bears can be 30% heavier in the fall than they are in the spring, since during the fall, they are putting on as much weight as they can in preparation for hibernation. Black bears have small brown beady eyes, a large head, an impressively sharp and very powerful jaw and teeth, and 4 paws with 5 curved non-retractable claws, which they use for digging and to help move heavy objects. At the start of spring, their fur coats are generally lush and full. During the late spring and early summer, they will rub their heavy coats off to help keep cool in the hotter months, then grow their winter coats back again as temperatures cool in the fall. Despite their names, black bears are not always black. Their color can actually differ quite dramatically. You can often witness bears in the wild with a black fur coat and a white patch under their neck and across their chest. Other common color phases range from shades of blonde, light brown or chocolate, reddish or cinnamon, and even blue, black, and pure white in some very select areas. Typically, the lighter color phases are more common in the west than the east. Many people often mistake a brown or cinnamon phase black bear with a grizzly bear, but grizzly bears are significantly larger and much more powerful than a black bear. One common myth about bears is that they're related to the pig family. Both species share the same names for the males and females, boar and sow. Both pigs and bears are mammals, have omnivorous diets, and consumption of their meat can cause trichinosis in humans. Both species do have large bodies and the ability to store lots of fat and have slightly similar noses, but despite all of these similarities, they are not related. Black bears are intelligent animals and can adapt to many habitats. There's even reports of black bears returning to a site after they have been live trapped and relocated more than 200 kilometers away. Though their vision is considered to be poor to good at close distances, far distances are thought to be much more challenging for them, similar to a human's vision. But their hearing and smelling abilities are extremely good and allows them to stay alert in the wild. Though bears are often seen on all four legs, when startled or needing to see above something, they will often stand up on their hind legs, resembling the famous folklore creature Bigfoot. Climbing is second nature to black bears. Their short, non-retractable claws allows them to grip the tree bark and also balance on thin branches. They climb with a series of quick bounds, grasping the tree with their forepaws and pushing with their hind legs. When descending, they travel backwards down the tree. Black bears are also good swimmers and frequently cross rivers and small lakes. When it comes to their land speed, black bears tend to shuffle along slowly when walking, but are able to run at speeds of around 40 to 50 kilometers an hour for short distances. Most notably, they have impressive strength, able to move heavy logs and rocks to get at insects, bugs, and even baby eels found on the west coast. They also use their strength to defend their food or status from other bears. When it comes to the cute award in the animal kingdom, young bears known as cubs often take home the grand prize. Sows usually give birth to twins or triplets, sometimes more. The cub.
That was a great video about black bears. Now we're going to make some connections. Do you remember the steps to understanding connections? Let's review them together. I'm going to use my marshmallow stick to point. Number 1, listen to the lesson. 2, how does this apply in the school? 3, how does this apply in the community? 4, how does this apply in the world? Roasting marshmallows is a great thing to do while you're camping. I wasn't able to roast this marshmallow because I don't have a fire. Let's make those connections. Let's start with our connection to home. We are in school right now, so we are making connections to our home rather than school. Let's watch this video. This is a video of an area of the South Mountains that is not too far from Charlotte. This is a place that you could hike if you want to.
Come on, Ma.
Wow, look at all those rocks. What a beautiful trail. And if you look to your right, you can see waterfalls. Miss Bo loves waterfalls. That's a great thing about hiking in mountains. You can see some waterfalls. North Carolina is home to some of the most beautiful waterfalls in the world. And there are many, many, many waterfalls in North Carolina. looks like a postcard or a painting. It doesn't even look real. That kind of looks like my background. Wow. That was a beautiful video of hiking that you can do near you in Charlotte. Now we're going to make a connection to our community. This is really exciting. This is Wilderness Run Alpine Coaster. It's a sneak peek of an Alpine coaster that is in North Carolina. An Alpine coaster is a roller coaster that it propels naturally using the gravity, starting high on the mountain and then using the gravity to take you down to the end of the mountain. Usually not the end of the mountain. That would be a crazy, crazy long roller coaster. Let's pretend we're on this roller coaster together.
Yeah, I built this wall. I'm not walking up to
Roll back.
So we'll know which ones to cycle through. Both Sugar Village and Van Rail are tapped out for sewer. So our second road, I think I've got about $5 grand and all of that. And I figured, well, $30,000 motor. If you put all the actual time of them building the coaster, that's probably about all it took, is a little more than 4 months. Yeah, it's pretty amazing when you come across this and it clamps on here right away and pulls you up. Yeah. You can feel it.
That was a really in-depth look at that roller coaster. Would have been exciting if we could have ridden it. All right, let's make a connection to the world. This video is about the tallest mountain in the world. Let's watch.
What's the highest mountain in the world? It's an easy question, right? I mean, why bother even asking it? Everybody already knows the answer. Except anyone who said Mount Everest is actually wrong. Everest may stand at a magnificent 8,848 meters and is summited by only 29% of those who attempt it. But in fact, if we travel nearly 12,000 kilometers from the world-famous Mount Everest in Nepal to the tiny island of Hawaii, you'll find the staggering stature of Mauna Kea. Measured from top to bottom, Mauna Kea measures a whopping 1,352 meters taller than Everest. So why have you not heard more about the world's tallest lump of rock? Well, the base of Mauna Kea goes all the way down to the ocean floor, 5,852 meters below sea level in fact. If measured from sea level, Mauna Kea only hits a modest height of 4,206 meters, which means it wouldn't even be in the top 100 highest mountains in the world. But who knows, if a meteorite hits the Earth and evaporates the oceans, Mauna Kea could rightfully claim its title, although Everest would still remain as the highest point on the planet. Except, that's still not true either. All those who have either summited or attempted to summit Everest in the hopes of conquering the highest mountain in the world may have done so in vain.
If we travel nearly 9,000 kilometers on from Mauna Kea in Hawaii, we reach Ecuador. And here, in amongst the Andes, we'll find a little-known stratovolcano called Chimborazo, the one true king of mountains and the highest point on Earth. The confusing thing is that when measured above sea level, Chimborazo measures 6,248 meters, which is actually 2,600 meters shorter than Everest. So how on earth can it be the highest point on Earth? It's all to do with the shape of our world. Although the classic image of the Earth is a perfect sphere, it's not. Our planet is slightly oval, flatter at its north and south poles, and kind of bulged along the equator. This means that mountains along the equator's fat waistline are further from the center than those in other areas, and therefore means they are technically higher. Chimborazo sits pretty much slap bang on the equator, and measuring it from the center of the Earth, Chimborazo hits a distance of 6,384 kilometers, whereas Everest sits 2 kilometers behind at 6,382.
That was an interesting video about Mount Everest. I thought that Mount Everest was the tallest mountain in the world. It's good to learn new things. All right, so we aren't going to watch this together now, but this is a video of me reading an activity for this lesson. In this activity, we read a book about mountains. Thank you for joining me for this lesson. I'll see you next time.